Welcome back to Pokemon Analytics. We have all heard of these two guys from Pallet Town who both reached out to become Pokemon Master, defeated every trainer in the region, became the biggest of them all. Well, that was quite simple. They literally lived beside a Pokemon lab with a deranged old professor who gave them pretty rare and unique Pokemon for their adventure. They took on the Gym Challenge in an order so that no one could lose against the upcoming leader. Even a kid could get Pokemon Master on that route. But what if you aren't that lucky? What if you were not born in Pallet Town? So imagine you are Fuss, a 10-year-old boy who lives in Fuchsia. One day you jump out of your bed, grab the potion from your PC, go downstairs and find yourself in the living room of your parents' house in Fuchsia City, right next to the local gym. You want to take on your journey to become a Pokemon Master, but you first need your very own starter Pokemon. As you know, you are not allowed to participate in battles or even enter tall grass to encounter a wild Pokemon without this special friend that you have to take up first. But how do you get a starter Pokemon when you are not allowed to catch a wild one without having one at first place? Fortunately, you live in the only city with a place where it's not forbidden, but strictly required that you enter without Pokemon, the Safari Zone. So you enter the gates, receive your Safari Balls and go for a hunt. Your first encounter is a wild stone. Okay, why not? You throw a ball and eventually get your starter Pokemon. You name it Buddy, because this is your new best friend. While you are already here, you try to catch some other useful Pokemon for your party. You stumble upon a strange egg and an aggressive bull. Screw you. Then you find this gracious moth. You catch it and name it Butterfree because this name is much more fitting. As you are a local guy and know for sure what to do, you try to find the mysterious secret house for the hidden machine Surf, which is said to be here. On your way you find the teeth, which your neighbor is missing. Then your first quest is over and you decide to get a try on the local gym. It seems like the Stoneheart Buddy and the Buggy Butterfree are the perfect counterparts to the poison and psychic Pokemon that are used here. But it's pretty obvious that you have to level them up first, which is quite tedious. Buddy can also need some better attacks, so you trade the gold teeth for the hidden machine's strength and teach it immediately. Also Butterfree gets a nice buff too, as it learns Psybeam while beating up all the nearby trainers. So you are finally prepared to take on Koga. Against Butterfree's Psybeam, his Pokemon are no match, and as the final Weezing is blowing itself up, Buddy is still there to achieve the victory. You got your very first badge, and you are now able to use the HM Surf. Pretty convenient. So it's time for heading out to other cities. As you do not have a bike, you are forced to take the eastern route. On your way you acquire a super rod and immediately go for fishing. You snag yourself a tiny crab and name it Pinchy because it's just a cute tiny crab. Heading north you stumble upon a giant roadblock Pokemon. You try to jump over it, sneak past, bomb it away, screw it. You see, you've got Pinchy. Pinchy is pretty useless in combat, but you need this tiny little crab to climb on its neck and simply swim your way past this giant hill of a Pokemon. Well, that was smart. So now you are entering Lavender Town. The local Poké Tower seems not to be the right place at the moment, and heading north you enter the Dark Rock Tunnel. There might be a chance to find your way through, but why should you? You just leave Lavender Town west, take the underground pathway and enter Celadon City. The way to the gym is blocked by this strange tree, but you can buy 2 drinks at the rooftop of the giant mart and trade one of it for the move Rock Slide. Buddy is quite happy with this one. Afterwards you find a hidden switch in the local game corner, detect the secret hideout of a group of villains and smack the boss with Pinchy and Butterfree. After clearing the Pokemon Tower with your newly Silph Scope, you enter Saffron and find yourself immediately among some Rocket Grunts again. Buddy mobs the floor with them due to him now knowing Earthquake, and then you outplay Giovanni again. For that you are now allowed to enter the gym, eventually make your way to the gym leader Sabrina and beat her up with Butterfree and Buddy. You got your second badge. Then you decide that it's about time to strengthen your party, so you catch a little flower Pokemon and name it Spittle because, well, that one's obvious. Afterwards you leave Saffron to the south and, after some battles against very weak trainers, enter Vermilion City. Again, the gym is blocked by a strange tree, but you know what? Time for Pinchy again. You solve a pretty boring puzzle including some bins and then outclass the leader Lieutenant Surge with Buddy's ground power. You got your third badge. Well, that one was easy. You also find a ship anchoring at the harbor, but as you do not have a ticket, you take instead the underground pathway to Cerulean City. You take up Misty, another easy win, and got your fourth badge. Then you clear the Nugget Bridge, help out this nerd who transformed himself in a Pokémon and receive a ship ticket as a reward. Well, you know where that might lead. The whole ship is pretty boring, but you meet the seasick captain and get the hidden machine cut for helping him out. Finally, these strange trees are no longer an obstacle. With that, you were able to make your way to the gym in Celadon City, which you easily beat with Butterfree. You got your fifth badge. Now it's time for some clever routing. You travel back to Vermilion City, enter Diglett's cave, cut a tree and find yourself in Pewter City. You enter the gym and nothing to tell about this battle. Pinchy is the man. You got your sixth badge. Then you are heading south, totally past Viridian Forest on the right side and enter the gym. Well, not yet I guess. So you go on and find yourself in the legendary Pallet Town, home of all the Pokémon-Champions, at least so far. You surf down the sea, enter Cinnabar Island, clear the Pokémon Mansion, not that interesting at that point, and take on some trainers in the gym. Meanwhile, Pinchy is evolving and therefore Blaine doesn't stand a chance. You got your seventh badge. For that there is only one thing left to do, take on the last gym in Viridian City. Turns out that the leader is the same dilettantish guy that you've already beaten up twice. As usually, Buddy handles him quite well. You got your final badge. To prepare for the upcoming tasks, you put a rare candy in Buddy's mouth and he acknowledged that by evolving. Time for Victory Road. You show all your badges and finally enter the Indigo Plateau. On your way through, you stumble upon a giant firebird. You heard of that legendary phoenix. You throw a ball and name it Ho-Oh, because what else should it be? Time for the Elite Four. First up is Lorelei. She's got some pretty tough ice Pokémon, but with your newly added Ho-Oh, they are quite well to handle and Butterfree is doing the rest. Next up is Bruno, who obviously stands no chance against none of your Pokémon. Third is Agatha. She's a bigger threat, but her ghosts can't handle with the sheer power of Buddy's ground moves. Head of the Elite Four is Lance, the Dragon Trainer. You open up with Spittle to put his Gyarados to sleep. From there on, the job is quite easy for Buddy. The following Dragonaires can't do anything to Spittle because of its poison type and their dampness, so Spittle slowly chips its way through. After that, Buddy and Butterfree take care of the rest. Finally, the Pokémon-Champion. You prepare yourself by giving a Leaf Stone to Spittle so that it can evolve. Then it's time to battle. You throw your whole team against his pumped up Pokémon and they are doing quite well. There are losses on both sides, but you blaze a trail. Last up, Gary's Charizard. That's up to Buddy, your starter against his starter. Buddy against the giant fire dragon. The battle is intense, no one can predict the outcome. Then, Buddy, classic. So you just became Pokémon Champion and are entering the Hall of Fame. You clock in with a time of 8 hours and 45 minutes. Not that bad, considering that you didn't use the HM for flight, didn't have a bike, didn't use any repel, watch all the battle animations, and so on. And there you have it. You can beat the game although you come from Fuchsia City. On your journey you didn't even cross the Sea Farm Islands, well of course not, but also Rock Tunnel, Mount Moon and Viridian Forest. Quite interesting. So stay tuned for the next episode where we answer the question, is it possible to beat Pokémon Red Blue although you live on Cinnabar Island? And no, it's really not.